Sean Salisbury here for Open Sports. Let's talk fantasy and some guys that maybe you want to jump out there and start this week and look at your team depending on who's in front of them, as always, and who they're playing. Let's go first of all with the Giants running backs, Bradshaw and Ward. You say Brandon Jacobs. Well, Jacobs left the game a little banged up, but this is a full-grown man. Depending on his health, we know they use earth, wind, and fire, and all three guys can contribute. So if you got Jacobs and you're a little shaky going into the week, you may say, well, Ward, Bradshaw, both can hit the home run. Both can run the football. You might want to jump on one of those two guys because they can give you something. Ryan Grant, people who drafted him high before the season started, he's been struggling, but he jumped out of it against the Chicago Bears. Is he finally back now with the way Aaron Rodgers can throw the football around in their passing game? Does Ryan Grant become a guy, if he was your high draft pick and then all of a sudden you stuck him as your third back, do you jump him back in the lineup and say, okay, he's got his rhythm back? You might want to go and jump on that. How about Dominic Rhodes? And you say, well, Joseph Adai's healthy, and Adai had a good week last week. But I'm telling you, they still use Rhodes in situations to get touchdowns. I think this is an underrated, tough back. And I know Peyton Manning respects him and likes the way he plays. And you never know about Joseph Adai. What if he gets nicked? At least Dominic Rhodes is a guy that they can still say, well, we don't have to change our offense for. He can catch it. He can run it. Dominic Rhodes may be a guy that's sneaky touchdown for you throughout the week. And then a couple other guys. Ted Ginn Jr. Now, people probably loved him when he came out of Ohio State. He hadn't been a big-time player until he finally, the last month, is starting to get it going. He's starting to do the things and become more of a precise route runner. I like the way Pennington, I think Chad Pennington, I like the way he plays, and he's consistent throwing the football, and he understands. And Ginn's starting to get more involved, and we've been begging for the big play like this, and Ted Ginn's starting to come alive. I like this guy, and he may be one of those guys that you say, you know what, I can sneak something out of this, especially since the Dolphins will do anything, throw it, get in a wildcat formation, do anything they can to win the way Tony Sperano calls offense. I like, and this football team, I think Ted Ginn can be a little bit of a steal, and I guarantee not many people have him sitting up there as your one or two receiver. And then finally, Kerry Collins. And I say Collins, some of you may have him. You're still not buying into the fact that Kerry Collins can play. You still don't want to believe that with the record of 10-0 for the Tennessee Titans, that it's because just defense and running game. Well, the last 2 or 3 weeks, it hadn't been the running game. It's been Kerry Collins, 3 more touchdowns last week. If your quarterback's iffy, or if you've got a star, let's say you had Bulger at the beginning of the year and said, he's a St. Louis Ram. Kerry Collins is a far better option right now. You can go around the league and see who the far better option is. Kerry Collins is that guy, and maybe after Sean Hill's performance, for the 49ers, he finally comes alive with the way Frank Gore is running the ball, and maybe Mike Martz starts to feature both those guys, and Sean Hill gives you something. These are just sneaky guys, but don't quit on Kerry Collins. Kerry Collins has proven every week why he's been in big-time playoff games. He's been in big-time regular season games. He's struggled. He's been good. And now he's got this thing down to where he understands what's going on the field. Kerry Collins, I think this could be a steal also because they're relying not just on the run, but on the pass. I'm Sean Salisbury. There's your fantasy look for Open Sports.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.